Hello, this is Eugenia with Radiant Warrior Living, and I'm here today to talk to you about the importance of learning and personal growth. The reason this subject is so important is because there's many benefits of being a constant learner and constantly evolving and being open to new experiences, and that's all part of personal growth and development. When we're able to stay open and present to what life brings, as well as open to learning new things and not be stuck in patterns, and be open to new opportunities and what comes, as well as seeing a lesson in different things that we go through, we're able to benefit in a very different way. So the benefits are quite large. For example, when you focus on personal growth and development, the level of satisfaction in life, which is sort of the highest benefit in my opinion, is key. And people who spend the time to focus on what they want to achieve in their life and how they want to grow have a lot more satisfaction in their life. There's a lot more self-awareness. Um, there goes my cat, Jack, who's always learning and growing, that's for sure. And I'm learning and growing with him. But the level of self-awareness, when you're able to look at your life and be honest about what you want to change, what you want to accomplish, you have a different, higher level of self-awareness, which allows you to notice what are some of the things that you want to work on. You can achieve success, and you can actually be more connected to your true wishes and desires. The other benefits is having a sense of direction. The sense of direction is important in life because we all get really busy. We all get caught up in responsibilities and a lot of other things that are there every day. And when we have a clear sense of direction on where we're going and what our goals are, what makes us passionate in life, and we have a sense of purpose, we spend a lot more time focused on that sense of direction. And we're not kind of caught up in some other things, and we prioritize what's important for us and where we want to go. And we keep that sense of direction in our mind, in our heart, and at times when sometimes things don't go the way we want, we still are very clear on where we're going. So we're not as easily confused. We have a sense of clarity about our life and a sense of purpose. Also, it creates a lot more focus and effectiveness. When we can focus on what we want to achieve, we know some of the things that we want to do or we need to do to get there. So having the kind of the clarity allows us to be a lot more present and a lot more in tune with what needs to happen in order to continue going in a certain direction. So, and that would have to do with, being very clear on your goals and looking at your life honestly and being able to evaluate where you're at and where you want to go and what are some of the things that you're missing or what are some of the things that you're passionate about, as well as understanding maybe some things are not working as well as you want them to work, or maybe you're not happy where you're at with your career or some of the things that you're doing. So it's looking at your life and where you're at and understanding what is it that you want to change. So creating that sense of direction or understanding whether the direction that you've picked is the direction that you want to continue on. So it's being in a place of inquiry and a place of checking in with yourself and open to whatever comes, as well as your own sense of whether the sense of direction that you've picked or the direction that you've picked is the right one at this point in your life. Because things change, we change. Sometimes our priorities change, or we realize that maybe what we thought would make us happy and fulfilled is not. So being able to stay in inquiry and check in with yourself and also have that sense of self-awareness where you can actually clearly feel and notice where you're at and have that honest conversation with yourself and kind of understand where you're at. And it's definitely beneficial for motivation. When we wake up in the morning and we have a clear sense of direction and a clear sense of purpose, we're a lot more motivated to get up, because we know that our life has purpose. We know that everything we're doing is directed to something. And even the smallest things that maybe at times we are not wanting to do, or we don't feel motivated to do them, but we know that they contribute to the bigger picture. So being able to connect to that and understand where you're at, and kind of having that clarity will provide in turn the motivation to do what needs to be done on the way, on the journey. One of the other things that I find is important is in the personal growth and learning, is that it allows us to actually focus on our journey. I find that when we are focused too much on the result and the outcome, we are living very much in the future, and we're not present. So being able to be open to learning new things and working on yourself, and giving the time to you, and being focused on who you are and your own sort of sense of being, your own sense of yourself, understanding sort of your essence, the truth of yourself, it allows you to be more in tune with the world around you, and it allows you to feel like there is the present moment, like you're not just focused on the future, and it allows you to enjoy the journey, because a lot of the times when we put a goal forward, and for example, I want to achieve this success, I want to grow my business to this level, we look at this as our goal. But what I always ask my clients to do is focus on, what will that goal bring them? Will it bring, a sense of success? Will it bring a sense of satisfaction? Will it bring a sense of completion or wholeness? And in the end of the day, that's the goal. So when you're able to understand that the goal is not the final thing, that it's actually the feeling and the sense of who you are, that this goal will allow you to feel and connect to, then you're able to enjoy and see that feeling that goal will bring can be experienced on your journey. So it's being able to understand and connect to the fact that our life is a journey, and the growth that you notice is what brings you the satisfaction. When you look back 2 or 3 years and you realize that you have grown, that you've had certain fears or certain things, and you've actually accomplished them, that you've actually done some of the things that you've said you would do, it gives you such a sense of satisfaction and understanding that you're actually fulfilling some of the things that you've talked about, that you have commitment, and it creates a different sense of self-respect as well, and it creates awareness, a lot more awareness and a lot more clarity on what is it that can make you happy, or what are some of the things that you can achieve or can try. So being able to actually understand what is it that you want, and be able to see that you're growing, and to actually notice that growth and to notice your own expansion is what brings the satisfaction on this journey. And that's why I find it's very important in life to find time for that learning and personal growth in whatever way it happens. And some of the ways that personal growth can be possible, it is really about acquiring new knowledge, but it doesn't have to be the knowledge of just the outside world. Of course, that's very helpful, and having the knowledge and understanding of how things work, and how relationships work, or how businesses work, and how relationships can be improved. All of that is knowledge, and all of that is extremely powerful and extremely expanding for all of us. But it's also about having a sense of kind of more clarity around the fact that anything can be personal growth and development, and bring new learnings. So it could be picking up a hobby or a skill, and actually opening up a creative side of yourself, and kind of finding creative pursuits in your life. Because when you're looking at something and you're looking to try writing or making something, it is acquiring new knowledge, and it is actually creating new passageways in your brain to bring a new experience in. So looking at things that you're interested in, understanding what is it that you could actually try and pursue, even if it might not grow into something bigger, but learning a new skill or learning something that you've always been curious about. And it could be really anything, it could be learning to dance. It doesn't matter how old you are. Or I see, now it's a big thing, with people who are going through retirement, is going back to school and going back to university and acquiring a new knowledge, a new degree. And I have such an admiration for people who do that, because it's not that easy to be a student later in life, but it allows us to stay flexible and to stay open and in a state of inquiry, as I mentioned earlier, which keeps your brain open and gives you opportunities to really see that you can change and that you can evolve as your life changes, and stay present, and also see and be accepting of where you're at, and kind of where you've been in life, and take this knowledge and use that as an opportunity to grow and create something that you want. So at any point in your life, it is possible. And oftentimes people talk about education being something that requires money, that requires resources. It definitely requires time. But as far as money and resources, that should not be a limitation, because there's so many sources of information today. And a lot of those sources are free. And so if someone wants to be kind of open and learn something, if you start looking at opportunities online, there's many free webinars, there's many courses that are offered at a discount or free, or you can look at ways that you can audit a course without necessarily getting a degree. So I believe that if there's a will, there's definitely a way. So if you are interested in looking at different subjects or different skills, you'll be amazed if you start searching what's available. I recently myself received a catalog from a local community center, as well as education for adults from the school board, and I was absolutely blown away by the amount of courses that were offered at a very reasonable price. I'm talking a price that would cost to have a dinner, by yourself. So it's very affordable, and some of the courses that were offered were super interesting. I mean, there were things from accounting and business to internet and being able to become kind of like a programmer, or at least the beginner level of the programmer. There were so many skills that you could learn, to make jewelry, to dance. So the amount of knowledge, or the amount of information and knowledge that was offered, I was absolutely blown away with. And this just, this brochure just came to me, so I wasn't even looking for it. But when I started inquiring online and checking what was available in my area, I was just so surprised. And a lot of it was either free or at a very reasonable price. And of course, there's always more expensive ways that you can go to university, and you can take private courses, and there's a lot of businesses that do that. So really the range is very wide, but don't let the fact that maybe you don't have a lot of resources limit you, because there's many opportunities out there. And if you want and if you're interested, start looking up the subjects that you're interested in, and you'll find opportunities to either join a course or join a webinar, and connect with the communities that are interested in the subject, and maybe find like-minded people who you can connect with and also learn from. So, which brings me to my next point, is that relationships is something that we continue to learn and grow in. And the people we know, sometimes we have a certain group of friends and a core group of friends that we've been friends for a long time. At times this changes. People go through different experiences in life, and people move, their life circumstances change. So building new relationships and acquiring a network of people, and maybe in a new area that you're interested in, is also a way to learn. I live in a very multicultural city, and I've been meeting a lot of people from different cultures, and what an amazing opportunity to learn about how other people's experiences, other people's way of living. So I definitely suggest staying open. And I hear very often that people say, well, I have a certain group of friends, I don't have time for new friends. Well, I think that being able to connect with people is definitely a skill. But when you're open to engaging with others, it doesn't mean you have to spend a lot of time with those people, but you actually can engage in a conversation. You can talk about what's meaningful for them, what's meaningful to you, as well as share some of the things that you might have in common. And maybe if you find those people through a network of your interest, you might be absolutely surprised how much knowledge those people have and how much new information and what you can learn from them. And maybe it will inspire you to do some other things that you never thought would be possible for you. And if you are looking to do some personal growth and learning, and again, maybe if you look on at your life, you'll be surprised that you're already doing a lot of these things. And sometimes we're just doing them because that's something that we feel is very important to us, and we value learning new information and being there and acquiring new skills. So if you're already doing that, that's great. Congratulations. And maybe you'll have a lot more self-awareness that you're doing it, and you'll spend more time and you'll be more committed and manage your time so that you can allocate the time to doing the things that are important to you, even if you have a busy life and you have a lot of responsibilities. Because I find when I talk to and work with women, there's definitely a lot of things that need to be juggled and prioritized. And it's not always easy to put yourself first, right? And to put those passions and those creative pursuits forward, because there's a lot of other responsibilities. And sometimes it's very easy to start feeling like you're putting yourself first and you're being selfish. I do think, though, that it's very important to give yourself that time, because then your satisfaction and your passion that you're contributing and devoting your time to will allow your loved ones to see how important it is, and they will allow themselves that time. And your kids will learn to prioritize themselves as well, which I think is a great skill in life, and being able to connect with your pursuits and your passions is very important for a fulfilled life. One of the other things that I find is a way to learn as well is volunteering and giving your time. So it's not something that is easy to do always, because a lot of the times it can require a lot of time. But every time in my life, throughout my life, and I've volunteered a lot since I've been very, very young, I found that it brought so many new opportunities and so many new learnings for me. I think that if you have teenage kids who are not sure what they want to do in life, who are looking at different things and have time, and you want to keep them busy, and you want to give them a little bit of a glimpse of life, I think volunteering, getting a job, and sometimes it's not that easy when they're young teenagers, but helping them find a way that they can volunteer their time and give their time will give them a chance to connect with life. It will also give them a chance to get to know what they like and how they can interact with the world, and give them way more confidence and social skills that are not easy to pick up, and that you cannot get from studying and from books. So, and I think as adults, when we volunteer our time, we also show our children how important it is to give back. But it's also something that we can do for our satisfaction and for learning about life. I find that every time that when I volunteer, even though sometimes those are not easy tasks and they require a lot of time, it opens up my eyes to something, to some new information, to new knowledge. It also sometimes allows me to see how other people live and how other situations in life work out, and sometimes it just gives me a sense of being grateful for where I'm at, and makes me humble as well for being able to give back my time to somebody who needs it, or to a good cause. So I think that volunteering, even if it's a couple times a year, I do suggest, even on a small, for events or doing something to give back, will bring you a lot of new information and will allow you to literally grow personally, sometimes in leaps and bounds, especially if it has to do with a community that you are not very familiar with, and exposing yourself to sometimes maybe things that you feel totally out of your comfort zone with. I find that when we are ready to step out of our comfort zone, that's where the biggest growth is happening. And very often it's hard when we're so busy, when we're so caught up in all the things that we need to do, and we're just feeling like we're chasing life, and we're chasing and trying to manage all the priorities that we have. But it's actually stopping, and sometimes when you do feel like certain things are out of your comfort zone, it's allowing yourself an opportunity and the sense of wonder and the sense of curiosity to go there. You'll be amazed at how much growth happens in that place. And very often it's a very uncomfortable feeling, and sometimes we stop ourselves from it. But I do recommend it, and I think that again, growth and learning is what brings us satisfaction in life, especially when we look back and we realize how far we've come. So that was the purpose of my video today, is sharing the importance of learning and growth. And I find for myself, what brought this on was helping on a coaching course this weekend, and seeing, being there and giving a lot of my time and dedicating myself to the cause, but also realizing how much growth happened for me from meeting people who were involved in the course, from hearing the material that I've heard before, but hearing it in a completely different way, and being completely open to new knowledge and learning and being present. So I definitely recommend take an opportunity to grow and learn every day if you can, and look back and assess every year or every couple of years, and you'll be amazed at how much growth you've done and how far you've come. I wish you all the best and have a wonderful day. Thank you very much for watching.